Back.
Episode 29, yeah. Welcome
Hell
back.
yeah.
Episode 29 of Joystick Maverick. I am Ernie Hawkins. He is Dominic Irvin, and we are your hosts. That's right, Dom. I told you I'd do it.
I know.
T-shirt, sweater vest. Granted,
Bobby Cody.
I may or may not have a picture to compare myself later in this episode. You can't haze me if I'm gonna haze myself. You know, I'm gonna
It's true.
I'm gonna jump ahead of it. Oh man! But as always, our episodes are brought to you by Tough Wraps. Go to toughwraps.com. Use code Joystick at checkout for 10% off of your apparel, supplements, and gear. Stay tough.
Hell yeah.
We chat with them this week. Say hey, drop them a line, give them some love. Cause
Oh, yeah?
yeah. Well, yeah. Just got to keep the wheels
How are
turning.
they doing?
Pretty good so far. I keep seeing. I actually reached out to our rep, our boy AJ. Said, "Hey man, when's a good time to meet with you?" And he said, "Not between like 1 and 3:30 or something like that." And he was like, "Any day." And I was like, "Okay." And my brain didn't like think to ask really like, "Okay, that's your." I'm assuming lunch, right? No, he's like, "No, that's when I'm at the gym." Because he's so jacked. He's just a beefy beefcake man.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, dude. Like, dude, we have another in memoriam. I cannot fucking believe it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. No, that's right. It does, doesn't it? Hell yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Right. That died from a skiing accident. Hell no, dude. No. No, 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 no. Yeah, I wonder if he was at the Alps. Right. I think Mount Everest is in the Himalayas, bud. Hey, real quick. I don't see us on YouTube live. Uh-uh. Hold on. I didn't see it. I don't see us live. Oh, I do now. Yeah, we're there. We're good. We're good now. Oh, but I don't hear you. I hear me.
How in the
I hear me.
world does this keep happening to me? It's my own audio, and it's locked. You know what it is? I bet you there's like 5 hotkeys, and the minute I go to type something in a chat window, it triggers all the hotkeys.
Triggers, yeah.
Sweet. So hopefully they heard the first part before we switched over to In Memoriam for Gaspard Ulliel, who I just made a great joke, a really good joke. It sounds like a angel name from Supernatural. Har har har. Terrible loss.
He played a really great young Hannibal in Hannibal Rising. That's the only thing I've ever seen him in.
There's like a particular face shape and type that I just think, yeah, they could eat people. I could see it. You know? Like the guy that's replacing Grindelwald, Johnny Depp as Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Great Hannibal Lecter.
He was a great Hannibal Lecter.
Like, I could
just started watching that show again.
I could see him eating people. I could see it. They just have like a very like sharp features. I'm like, I bet their teeth would really tear through somebody's leg. But you know, zombies too, which are coming up later in the show. But R.I.P. to him, and hopefully you can hear me for the rest of the episode because I'm not changing shit.
I can hear you.
My hotkeys are now left and right buttons.
Yep.
So hopefully I can at least keep those in order. The state of gaming this week, I'm sure there's a bunch of video games out there. I'm sure there's a bunch of great news. I don't even think we really talked about like season 3 of Fortnite that I play and all the Spider-Man stuff that's in there. That's great. But I'm so sick of Wordle. And what pisses me off the most is I've been sitting there playing Wordle for like all week. And now I just figured out today that it's the wrong one. Are you aware there's a whole nother Wordle app on iOS?
Oh, is there an app?
Yeah, it's a whole app. You can pay. Like the minute I finally read somebody's description of it, I was like, I'm not doing the right game, and I feel really stupid because I've been so frustrated.
That's it's just a website.
Exactly. It is just a website. And I'm going to give a little bit of... I'll read the backstory. I think you may have you putting this together because this is the moment I realized I was an idiot. Wordle is a web-based word game developed by Josh Wardle, a programmer who previously created the social experiments Place and the Button for Reddit. Players attempt to guess a 5-letter word in 6 attempts. Feedback in the form of colored tiles is given for each guess, informing players which letters are in the correct position and which are in other positions of the answer word. The mechanisms are similar to those games such as Mastermind, though Wordle specifies exactly which letters in each guess are correct. There is a specific answer word for each day, which is the same for everyone. Sorry, my wife just snuck up on me and scared the shit out of me. Because she was like, she wasn't trying to like even like just be physically quiet, but she was also crouching down so that I wouldn't maybe see her. But it just made it look like a goblin was next to me. Wardle initially created the game for himself and his partner to play, eventually making it public in October 2021. The game gained a large amount of popularity in December. Blah, 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 blah. My one annoying thing here is the very last sentence of this breakdown. The game's popularity also led to a boost in downloads for an older game with a similar name. This is a 6 attempts to get 5 words. I downloaded this stupid other game where it's like a timer and you have to... There are only 4 letters, so that should have been a dead giveaway. I was on the wrong thing. And you have to try to figure out which word it's potentially generating, and then it jumps to another word. I'm like, I don't get how do I get the boxes? I was gonna start just copying people's tweets and say I did it because I didn't know any better. Yeah, it's mine. This mine right here. But yeah, and now of course we've got a friend that we share, an acquaintance that we share that I think has figured out a system for being so
this
great at
acquaintance
this game.
DM'd me earlier.
Oh yeah.
After I posted that comment.
Did this person know that we're going to be talking about that person?
No, but this person said they're just a genius and they got lucky. And I was like, and that they only post the good ones. And I was like, all right.
Sure. Well, we should have her on the show next week or maybe sometime soon to defend herself, but I'm calling shenanigans.
I agree.
Yeah, because I would definitely be the one to go on the computer and do it and then finally figure out the word and then go on my phone or any other device and take like 16 attempts and be like, oh man, I just lucked out and got it on the first try. It's freaking robot. Duh. My favorite now is too is like TikToks that you see. They're like, I don't get why people think this is so hard. You just try. Okay, what's the first one? Party. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, duh. The next one's gotta be proxy. I'm like, you did not make that jump. You did not make that jump. But I digress. This is going to be another one of those quick weeks, and I'm super pumped for it. The reason the first day of gaming is so short is because I know our final round is it's going to be a little beefy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit beefy. But coming soon.
Real quick, hold on, real quick, before we move on from State of Gaming. So PlayStation came out with its like PlayStation Wrapped thing, where it's like kind of like Spotify Wrapped,
right?
Where it tells you what you played and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to play a little guessing game with you. I have played 475 hours of PlayStation last year.
Ooh.
How many hours of that do you think are Destiny 2?
What was the total number?
475.
Okay, I think 425 of those.
Yeah, almost exactly.
Because I think multiple weeks in a row you said you play a game for about 5 hours and then you stop. And I'm like, there's only maybe 10 in the whole year that you would have done that with. That's 50 hours.
Destiny, 429 hours.
Oh,
PGA
so close.
Tour, 2K21, 8 hours. Guardians of the Galaxy, 7 hours. And God of War, 6 hours.
Bro, I was so close to being
you
dead
really close.
on.
You were almost dead on.
That's how I know I like you. Is that I can vibe with you across state lines through the internets. But no, that's actually pretty hilarious. And then you got this new one coming out here the next month, so you're like, oh, I'm about to ramp those numbers right back up. Those would be rookie numbers this year.
I'm real cool on it right now because I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I'm 45 hours into that. So
damn, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Also, not a game that just came to PC. Thanks, Sean. But coming soon this week. I'm actually really pumped about coming soon. Aside from the obvious problem that we just mentioned at the beginning of the show, Moon Knight looks awesome.
It looks so good.
It looks awesome.
And I don't know shit about Moon Knight.
Like we've talked about a little bit briefly about how Moon Knight is more or less the inverted Batman of the Marvel universe. Like he's all white, everything. He's kind of magical, and he just beats the shit out of people. I've even seen like a couple of like comic panels where he's just calling Dracula like, "Will you Dracula? You fuck!" Like you fucking nerd! Like I can't wait to hear how this whole show plays out. But the basic plot synopsis: Mark Spector, a mercenary who suffers from dissociative identity disorder, is drawn into a deadly mystery involving Egyptian gods with his multiple identities, such as Stephen Grant. The trailer already kind of introduces us to Stephen Grant, who's kind of this meek kind of personality, and whereas Mark Spector is the more badass guy. So when I think what I really like is we're already kind of getting set up for this to be the main personality is the weaker personality, and that weaker personality keeps waking up in like really horrific situations with a gun or like people just covered in blood for reasons. Like, so I'm excited about that. Ethan Hawke looks insane with long hair. And then of course you get the coolest little remix I've heard in a while of Day and Night. I was like, this is great.
Love Kid Cudi too, as well. And
there you go.
Nothing gets me more hyped for anything than a good trailer music combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, end is the beginning is the end, and Blackout when Watchmen came out.
Yes.
And I
think James Gunn has done it recently too, with a bunch of like throwback songs. Like that kind of hit. I think he did it like once or twice, and then people just jumped on that immediately. What was that?
And that goes for for video games too, like video game trailers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And no one does it better than Assassin's Creed.
Nice. Are they paying you? Good. What kind of stock do you got?
I go through this phase, dude. So I played Assassin's Creed 1 like crazy, and I played all of them, and now I'm back in it. And I'm like, yep.
Nice.
I know why I love these games so much.
I'm back. I thought I was out, but they pulled me back in.
This shit looks dope, though. Moon Knight looks so good. And it comes out... Did you see the release schedule of what shit might... Like, what we might get
so it's
starting March 30th? So it's March 30th, and it's 6 episodes.
Right.
Which puts it at...
Right
May
before,
the 4th.
Yeah.
which apparently is when Kenobi's dropping.
Which would be dope.
Also, the same week that Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness drops.
That drops on the 8th, right?
Yeah,
So
dog.
it's like...
Give it all to me. All these light weeks that we have,
Yeah,
they're about to go right out the door.
So, yeah. Ernie's going to be wearing double masks at the cinema this summer. I think it's going to be problematic. I'm going to have just like weird, just depressions every time we meet up. But no, I'm actually really excited about this show. You're right. Moon Knight looks dope. Glowing eyes. It doesn't even look weird. You're just like, okay, he clearly was just standing there, and mummy ribbons just attached themselves to him. I think we're going to be okay. The other thing I love, and we've already talked about Eternals previously, but the end of Eternals is now on Disney Plus, so you can actually go watch it if you have that subscription, which is how you would watch this anyway. At the very end, when what's his name, Kit Harington is going to pick what looks like to be the Ebony Blade, you hear like, "Are you ready for that responsibility?" or whatever, and it's clearly the guy who is going to be playing Blade. It's his voice, and that's been confirmed. So if you got the Black Knight
in London,
and Blade, and Moon Knight's in London,
and apparently like people are fucking going crazy. People are like, Ghost Rider might show up, Punisher might show up, like
there's a lot. I hope there's like a whole supernatural like storyline. It's just all
we
London.
Got like 5 storylines going for Marvel right now, where you got like the cosmic shit that's going on in Eternals and Shang-Chi. You got like the Young Avengers shit. You got this like werewolf vampire shit that I'm all about. You got this like New York City. What's going on?
The Defenders.
Like the Defenders stuff going on. Then you got like the multiverse stuff going. It's insane. I love it.
It's gonna be awesome.
I can't fucking wait.
We gotta keep people alive. I don't know how we can do that. Just bubble wrap them, because we got some things coming up in Lightning Round. People just can't stop getting sick or hurt.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother can of worms. But the next thing coming out on Netflix on the 28th, so like next week, actually next Friday.
Dude, how fucking cool does this look? Did you watch the trailer for this?
This looks awesome.
Insane.
This looks awesome.
Dude, All of Us Are Dead looks so fucking fun.
All of Us Are Dead is evidently based off of a webcomic about a high school that becomes ground zero for a zombie virus outbreak. Trapped students must fight their way out and turn into one of the rabid infected. I love these movies, especially like the confinement problem, right? Like that's the reason I love Dawn of the Dead, with the remake of that, where they were in the mall for so long.
Yeah.
Like you think you have everything figured out, and you don't. And then you're always like, even when you fantasize about, hey, what am I gonna do if the zombie apocalypse does happen? Okay, I want to be somewhere safe. I want to know where the exits are, and I want to be able to smoke. The Winchester.
That's right. Shaun of the Dead be coming up a lot recently, and I love it. I fucking love it.
I would just love if one of the zombies in All of Us Are Dead is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Just throw them out there. Why not? The next one up is this one. I think we talked about a little bit. Murderville coming to Netflix. I love this premise, and evidently it was already a BBC Three show, which I didn't know that. But the plot synopsis is: get ready to punch a one-way ticket to Murderville. And Netflix. Okay, I can't do that voice the whole time. It's hard enough for me to read aloud, let alone do that voice. And Netflix's latest procedural crime comedy, which, by the way, whenever I see that now and the name of this main character, I think of something else and I'll say it. So, which is executive produced by and stars Will Arnett as senior detective Terry Seattle. Makes me think of Angela Tribeca, right?
Yeah, Angie Tribeca.
so that was like her last name is a city, his last name is a city. Homicide Division every day holds a new murder to solve and a new celebrity guest as his partner. The catch? Yes, really. The guest stars aren't given a script. And as they assist Terry clue by clue, they have to improvise their way through the case. In the end, it's up to these celebrities alone to name the killer. That's awesome. Like,
listen,
I hope people fail miserably. Like, I don't get anybody. I hope.
And like the people that they have listed here, like Annie Murphy, Conan O'Brien, Ken Jeong, Kumail Nanjiani, Marshawn Lynch, and Sharon Stone, bro, I don't give a shit about any of those. Marshawn Lynch.
Yes, I was going to ask you who's your favorite. I can't wait.
Love Marshawn Lynch.
I watched 2 things recently, Rewatched him in that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he's just hanging out with Captain Holt, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my mom makes this kind of, I can't remember, the macaroni cheese. It's faux cheese. What y'all call it? Faux cheese."
I love Marshawn Lynch so much.
And then he admitted to like blowing his signing bonus to like skee ball at Applebee's, like just spending so much time. He's like, I can't decide if I like the atmosphere or the decor, or a combination of both. I'm like, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, dude.
So I can't wait. I can't wait. But yeah, so I'm glad we're on the same page there. Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch is gonna be great.
National treasure. Everybody else are gonna be great too. For those that can't remember, because I definitely didn't. Sharon Stone, man, she's got that bob cut. What's her name? Annie Murphy. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the chick from Schitt's Creek, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sister.
Alexis.
A little bit Alexis. Ew, David.
She's gonna be great too. She's funny as shit.
Yeah. Ew, David. Next up, lightning round. Again, short week. So this is going to be kind of a short lightning round, but we are literally hitting on three things that kind of affect one another.
All have to do with each other.
Yeah. So Doctor Strange, there's a rumored Fantastic Four cameo, which involves John Krasinski. That's cool.
There's so many of these rumors that are going around for Multiverse of Madness. It's not like Spider-Man, where everybody was like, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be in the movie. This is like John Krasinski is going to be in the movie. Patrick Stewart's going to be in the movie. Michael Fassbender's going to be in the movie. Chris Evans is coming back as Johnny Storm. I
mean, shit, I got duped by an April Fool's one last year with fucking Bruce Campbell playing Ash.
Eric Bana coming back
as Hulk.
Yeah.
No.
Tom Cruise is fucking Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, that would be actually pretty great. But,
keep Tom Cruise out of the MCU.
All of a sudden, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the most box office movie of all time, only because the entire Church of Scientology saw it 4 times.
Right.
He's in it for 16 seconds. But here are the ones that are entangled. So this is kind of cool. The first one, Winston Duke did a great job in Black Panther. Evidently, he's getting a major raise for the sequel.
Get that paper, brother. Get that paper, brother.
Hopefully that means a much bigger role. But the next update is not so great. Because, let me read this the whole little blurb here. From Lupita Nyong'o. I can't read. Thank you.
Lupita Nyong'o.
She got COVID, so that halted production right after they were coming back from production.
Fucking movie's never coming out.
So now because of that, this went from the original pushback from May 6th to July 8th, and now from July 8th to November 11th. So 11/11 Veterans Day. Damn. Now it makes you wonder, what do they do with the rest of these properties? Because most of the time they're built off each other. Like, you're not going to go see Avengers Infinity War before seeing Black Panther, right? It just doesn't chronologically make sense.
Right.
You wouldn't fucking know what's going on. Now, granted, if you're Moon Knight, you probably still don't know what the fuck's going on because you don't know what personality's taking over. But if these things are intertwined, people are screwed. Like, does that mean another push year? Obviously,
it's also coming out a week after fucking Avatar 2 now.
Is that for real?
Yeah, because Aquaman and Avatar 2 come out on the 5th.
That's right. Which is, I can't believe we're even talking about an Avatar 2.
I couldn't give a fuck about either of those movies.
Jesus Christ.
I've never seen Avatar.
Bro.
And it made $3 billion.
Listen, I'm going to say to you, 3 hours you'll never get back. You know what Avatar is? It's fucking Pocahontas with blue people, okay?
Oh, okay.
Look, a bunch of white people show up to a native land, and one guy falls in love with the princess of the native tribe people. Antics ensue. Have you ever heard a wolf cry on the blue corn moon? Yeah, that's what you basically just watched it. Just save yourself 3 hours. I don't know why we need a second part. John Smith, John Rolfe, they don't care. They're dead.
Yeah.
But I digress. Don't get me riled up about no goddamn Avatar bullshit.
Avatar 2.
God damn it. So recently released. Actually, let me back this up. Recently released The Son of Sean Part 2. AKA, congratulations to Heyo Sean and his other half for having their second boy. Which,
That's right.
as the story goes, he helped deliver the first half, and then the EMT showed up at his house to deliver for the second half because little guy wasn't waiting. He's like, go time. Like, let's rip it. I think he was ready to pull parachute. He's like, we got to get out, got to get ready. We got all these things coming up. We got Moon Knight, and then we got Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then we got Doctor Strange Part 2. I got to be ready for these things. Let's go. So shout out to those guys.
Fire.
And congratulations. Hell yeah, just ready. Let's go. The next one, Scream. So I haven't seen most of this. I saw a little bit somehow, some way at a yard sale.
I haven't seen it either, but I really want to see it.
I walked past a window, and there was a thing. Somebody was watching it. It wasn't me. But I guess it's good. Like the word on the street is like brutal slasher deaths, which is always great. Obviously, we talked about the Leatherface. I mean, Courtney Cox last week, and I really hope that most of these people end up dead. I hope that like the only person that survives this movie is whoever the murderer is, and we just don't find out. Right. I hope that's not what happened, because that would be really shitty if I just guessed that. I hate that so much, actually. It's like it's good and bad when you're watching a movie or a TV show and you kind of like go, my brain's a little fucked up. I think this is what's going to happen, and then you get it right 40 minutes later. The person that you are sitting next to or just heard you say it out loud, they're pissed because you kind of spoiled it for them. Imagine you. You're like, dang, man, I can't even enjoy a surprise.
I did that something recently with a book. I'm reading the Percy Jackson books.
Oh, there you go.
And I did it with the second Percy Jackson book. And I was like, oh, man, I called this from the beginning. Doesn't change the fact that it's cool, but
still.
Man, this is cool.
Yeah, hopefully you don't do that with
Doctor Strange.
Or Assassin's Creed. Like you're like, oh.
I already did it with Assassin's Creed.
Are you serious?
I already did it with Assassin's Creed.
Immediately that controller would have gone down for me.
I immediately feel like I was like, this person's this person because this really lines up. And I was like,
son of a bitch.
Oh, there's a whole Asgard scene of this. And I'm like, oh, well, this makes complete sense because they use the same character models for everybody.
Was it Asgard? Asperger's? What is it?
Jeff Goldblum, man.
He's a treasure. We got to keep him around.
He was on the Prada runway, and he looked fabulous.
He with the puffy arms. You know,
so
they look like. For people listening on the podcast right now, they were furry, fuzzy. Like they look like little pool floaties, but not orange for like a toddler, you know. But man, he walked that catwalk. He sure did. It didn't walk him.
He walked the shit out of it.
Speaking of walking the shit out of it, Book of Boba Fett.
I haven't watched episode 4.
All right. I won't say anything about episode 4, but
I watched episode 3.
But I get Danny fucking Trejo.
Yo, the Rancor tamer.
Yes.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
That was so awesome. I was so distracted by that. It took me out of the whole scene. Like the twins are sitting there grunting at him and shit, and there's fucking Danny Trejo sitting next to a Rancor, and I'm like, I need to know immediately why he's here. Like I could care less what they're talking about. Like okay, there's and then what's Black. Chris Hansen? You know what?
Chris Hansen. Yeah, Chris Hansen.
Yeah, basically. The minute you add 2 R's in a word, or 3 R's, or how many there are in his name.
Chris Stanson. Black Kirstansson? Kirstansson.
Is it?
It might be. It's Kirstansson? Kirstansson. Whatever.
Isn't Chris...
The fucking Wookiee.
Isn't Chris Hansen the guy who had that show where he was catching, like, predators, and then he ended up being one? Yeah. Yikes. Our show is off the rails, but no, this has actually been a really fun.
I don't think he was a predator, but yeah.
Oh, how'd you like our chrome domed 5 mile an hour chase scene with the robot kids, the cyborgs?
I think it's cool. Like
this, oh man,
the bikes kind of took me out of it just because they're super colorful, but
yeah, everything is so freaking dirty on a.
Yeah.
But they somehow have pristine chrome enamel like painted freaking bikes.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I can't wait for: the fucking reckoning that Boba Fett is going to roll down on the people that killed the Sand People. And I know it's coming. I know it's coming, and I know it's going to be awesome. And I'm sure it's in episode 4.
I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Oh, there you go.
Dude.
Yeah, Happy in the chat just confirmed it's Black Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen.
Black Chris Hansen.
He's like, why do I even bother? He's just like, I give up. Thank you for that, Chris Hansen. Krrsantan. Chris Hansen. That's the dumb.
He's
name.
cool as shit too, dude. The Black Wookiee.
Yeah, dude. He just looks grizzled, and I can't wait for him and Boba Fett to become best friends, and we get like a scene where like he's just being held. Boba Fett's just being held by Chris Hansen, and just me. You know.
Yeah.
Very loving stuff. There is okay, so that my brain just illuminated something. So in the movie Solo, right? The pilot with the multi-arms says, have you ever taken a nap in a Wookiee's arms? Most comfortable thing you'll ever do. Maybe think of just now me talking about Boba Fett taking a nap in a Wookiee's arms. Evidently, one of the girl who inevitably stops the mayor's assistant in her chromed out bicycle that somehow stops at a faster speed than she was actually riding at the entire time, which irked me. There's a theory that she is the love child between Solo and the new head of
Emilia Clarke.
Yes, and the head of Crimson Peak. Nope.
I think those are both movies and TV shows.
Yep. Crimson Dawn. Eat it. Yeah. So who's also been working with Darth Maul, right?
Love him.
And we know
Peter Serafinowicz going back to Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Who was the voice of Darth Maul.
Yes. And then on top of that, we got the crossover with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan. So I think we get a whole little bit of universe circling back up together, which could be
I'm more excited for the Obi-Wan show for Hayden Christensen to come back than anything else.
His voice has gotten so deep.
Well, did you see the video where he said, "May the Force be with you"?
Yeah.
And like I cried like a baby, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love the prequels."
I was like, "Is he doing a deeper voice on purpose?" May the Force be with you. I'm like, "Oh yeah."
I mean, he's an adult now.
Yeah, it's funny to think that was 20 years ago, and you're like,
I know.
why is he so different? Oh, that's right.
Everybody shits on the prequels.
He's lived a life.
Episode 1 and Episode 3 are outrageously underrated.
I read the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, and that made me love that movie that much more.
Dude, we wouldn't have Clone Wars without any of the prequels. We wouldn't have Rebels. We wouldn't have Ahsoka Tano. We wouldn't have
Mando.
We wouldn't have any of that. The Mandalorian probably wouldn't have any of that. Book of Boba Fett probably wouldn't have had any of that because of the Mandalorian. Like, the prequels are dope. Darth Maul is one of the most cool-looking villains. When you were a kid and you saw the trailer and the fucking lightsaber comes out of both ends and you're like, fuck, I gotta have it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that... I'm not gonna lie to you. Even that, when Kylo Ren is walking through the friggin' forest and the hilt ignites out, I was still just as jacked up. I was like, man, it reminded me of that moment where he turns over the saber and it ignites out the other end.
Nothing gets you the juice is revving like a good no face lightsaber arm ignite, and you're like, yeah. It happened in the Knights of the Old Republic trailer.
I know.
With Revan, and you're like, this is amazing. Yeah. Nothing.
It's gonna. One thing we keep glossing over with the Star Wars universe, and I say we, I mean like the community at large, is the Tales of a Jedi. People are talking about how that could potentially be this jumping off point from the last season of Mandalorian, where Luke picks up Grogu, and it could be just a Luke/Grogu show. That would be awesome.
Look, we're getting an Ahsoka Tano show, and Ahsoka is going to have to interact with Luke Skywalker at some point.
I hope that they
Also,
secretly replace our boy Luke or Mark Hamill with Sebastian Stan. That would be the shit. I'm okay with that.
That's weird.
Huh?
I always thought that the Mandalorian took place after Return of the Jedi.
It does.
But before The Force Awakens.
It does? Think so. That sounds right.
It has to, because
Yeah.
Luke's young.
Yeah.
I always thought it took place after all of that for some reason.
Well, yeah, so Luke is young. It's been years later, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's so much. You got to watch episode 4. I say nothing. You know, now I just made you draw some lines that won't exist until later.
No, I know. Believe me.
You're like, I'm sitting here
I already
reading
know- I
the
already
plot
know.
synopsis
I already
for 4.
No, I'm not reading.
right now.
But I know that at some point in the Book of Boba Fett, Din Djarin has to show up.
Yeah.
He has to.
Yes. Not yet, though.
I just want his Beskar spear, dude.
Spoiler alert. I will give kudos where it's due. Thank you again, Mahaffey, for these show notes, because he again does not put what the episode synopsis is, just in case we haven't watched it. He keeps putting in the series synopsis, which is what you definitely need to do. Thank you so much.
Yep.
But that kind of wraps it out for new releases.
Most of the show.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now we get to once again thank our sponsor, Tough Wraps. As always, use that code Joystick at checkout, 10% off. Stay tough. Now for the reason I'm wearing this stupid outfit. Xbox is to buy Activision Blizzard King. I can't believe this.
What a way to wake up on a Tuesday.
Dude, you were like, wake up. And I love that Sam's response was, I've been awake for hours. And you were like, you just blasted that, and then we ignited. Just,
Yeah. Well, I had to read it twice. So I woke up. I'm doing my thing on my phone in the morning. And I go on Twitter, and it's like Activision buys, or Microsoft buys Activision for $70 billion. And I'm like, no, there's no way.
It sounds like a made up number. It's just,
right,
it sounds fake.
Phil Spencer tweets, today is a historic day. And then at that point is when I get on Slack and I'm like, everybody wake the fuck up.
All right, so there's several things that we've popped up in the past couple of days about this. So I want to start with the obvious. Them buying Activision and Blizzard gives them a massive library. Massive. Call of Duty, all the Blizzard properties. I had a picture that literally had all of the different games that
Candy
they now
Crush.
have. Candy
Crush, Call of Duty,
the one
World of
King
Warcraft,
property
Diablo,
we care about.
Overwatch. It just cements the fact that Game Pass is literally the best deal in gaming.
Then you got to think about this too. It's that means Sony's fucked, right?
So, not 100%, because this came out right before the show started, was that Phil Spencer met with Sony leadership today to confirm that all of their contracts are still in place. So Call of Duty will still come to PlayStation.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
A bunch of those properties will still come to PlayStation. Is that always going to be the case? Absolutely not. I'm sure that's not always going to be the case. Just like it is for Bethesda. But yeah, man. Fuck, this is the largest video game acquisition. It's bigger than the top 5 put together.
It's
wild. The top 5 video game acquisitions combined, it's bigger than that.
I can't think of it like a bigger acquisition. And now,
Sony or Disney buying Marvel?
Yeah, that or like Fox,
Star Wars or Fox. Yeah, I mean those are huge.
But this is like gaming. Like it's massive.
Yeah, gaming. This is essentially Microsoft is Disney buying Marvel.
And we've already kind of seen this and talked about it on previous episodes too, with like Sony buying up those smaller gaming properties, right? Like so,
yeah,
that's not out of the realm of possibilities here. But the fact that they're buying Activision Blizzard King is bonkers. And this is.
But who's next? Like who's next? Like looking at the
Ubisoft,
market cap value,
Riot Games,
Ubisoft, EA,
Epic.
Oh
shit!
Like EA, I'm sure EA is at some point gonna want to be acquired because they're putting out just dog shit these days.
But I mean, to the point, that we've made all together as a group is that Xbox hasn't ruined anything they've acquired, right? They've in ways made them better, if not maintained the same quality, right? It's
Right. These studio acquisitions have not come with controversy. And like it's not like they bought those properties and did shitty things with them. Now, granted, we haven't seen a lot of, what has happened with these studio acquisitions, but like Ninja Theory is one that they purchased, and Senua's the second Senua game is coming out, and that's incredible. Starfield for Bethesda is coming out, and that looks to be, even better. Deathloop was from the same publisher, but they did it for PlayStation, because that was like their last exclusive deal. But PlayStation is the same way. Like it seems to me that these large acquisitions have really still given creative freedom, but with a bigger purse to these studios. I mean, Sucker Punch is owned by Sony now.
Yeah.
And Sucker Punch put out Ghost of Tsushima, and Sucker Punch is putting out Insomniac is another studio that's owned by them and putting out Wolverine and Spider-Man 2, and they put out Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and they're all incredible. I know that there's this argument about monopolization and antitrust and everything, and this is a big deal that would have the federal government taking a hard look at that.
Yeah.
Because of Activision Blizzard's market value. But I hope it goes through. I think it's going to do a lot more good than harm, especially with the fact that, Activision has gone through this harrowing, the people at Activision have gone through a harrowing time over the last, decade, it seems, where their culture and, sexual harassment and, full-on sexual abuse and rape and, suicide and, terrible leadership. And Phil Spencer's going to clean house. Like, I fully believe that Phil Spencer is going to clean house.
I hope he has a State of the Union live stream where he announces the firing of Bobby Kotick. I hope there's like a tar and feathering that takes place in a public square of some kind, or like at least a large piñata of him in a white T-shirt and a blue sweater vest just getting beat to shit. Like, I want part of his like penance to just be kicked in the balls by like random 7 or 8 year olds over and over and over again for all eternity. And then of course we get like other random blow off news that Bobby Kotick even allegedly wanted to buy game sites like Kotaku and PC Gamer to try to like spin the narrative a little bit or like quiet them down. Like this guy's the worst.
Dude's the worst.
And let me
and it goes to show, like, as soon as this acquisition happened,
this dude is the worst. This one now on stream. So if you're watching live, thank you for watching live. I wore this as a joke. I personify none of the things this guy does. Look at this beard. Look at my hair. We are different. We are way different.
It just goes to show, like, when Microsoft acquired Bethesda, it wasn't like, all right, so like, are you firing the CEO?
Yeah.
Like, the first thing anybody asked as soon as this deal came about was,
is he
all right,
out?
what's going on with Bobby Kotick? And then, like, the first thing that came up was like, oh, he's staying. And then, like, the second thing came up that was like, no, that's not confirmed. And then the third thing that came up is like, nah, he's going.
And it's only through the transition period, right? We know of, right?
Yeah, it's just through it sounds like it's just through the transition. The guy's going to get a massive payday, and he's not going to have his day in court. But at the end of the day, if he leaves and the culture gets better and that, people are put in place to make an active difference to the people that are working on those games, because there's thousands of people that work for Activision Blizzard, then I would say, that they won at that point. Sure. But we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year.
And, I mean, the downside is, like, to your point, it's a year. Right? Like at least a year. And that's going through all the different pieces of information for the company itself. During that time, they're mutually exclusive. That means Bobby Kotick for the next year can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
Like, he could nuke this deal just by being that much more worse. And we'd lose out on a lot of these, potentially lose out on these properties, right? Like, Xbox won't want to buy a dumpster fire. especially if it's.
I
Just,
mean, this comes off the heels that they were talking about shutting down Activision Blizzard at one point.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were talking about that a few months ago, where that was like in the rumor bill that it was getting shut down. So I mean, here's the thing. I didn't see a single rumor about this acquisition. This just came out of fucking nowhere. And can you imagine Phil Spencer having to watch, knowing that this deal was in the works? Because this deal's had to have been in the works for at least a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knowing that this deal's in the works, watching the dumpster fire that was the summer all the way through the winter.
You have to kind of guess, or maybe wonder, like, is he going to say something before the holidays to try to save it? Or was it smart of him to wait to get through the holidays, have all those fires explode, let the net worth of Activision Blizzard and King go lower, so then Xbox could still acquire them later on, but even potentially at a lower price point? Like,
right.
That's big. That's some chess moves. He's definitely not playing checkers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so
wild.
Mike asked an interesting question. Mike asked, what happens to a board of directors when a company's bought out? And in most cases, the board of directors do not stay.
No. Well, and that's right, and that's if some of those board of directors don't actually own parts of the company, if they're not selling out their pieces, right? Like if they own a particular percentage, they can be a board member and have voting rights and things like that. But if Microsoft is smart, they'd be buying all of them out.
Right.
And that's part of the big
I'm sure
price
that's
tag.
part of what this deal is, and I'm sure that they're not going to hold their seats. My guess is because, I mean, Phil Spencer came out when all of this shit went down about, I mean, and like, listen to the language that Phil Spencer like said. Like, we are reevaluating our relationship with Activision Blizzard. That was what he said, knowing that they were planning on buying them.
That's what he meant. We're reevaluating whether we're going to continue to just pay them licensing fees, or we're just going to buy them.
So like my whole, I'm hopeful, and I know Mike is hopeful too, because Mike and I talked about it. His sub at Warcraft was running out in like 7 days. He said when this acquisition was announced, and he was like, "All right, well, I'll resub, for now and see what happens." So we'll see. Diablo's coming to Game Pass would be fucking sweet.
Have you said they're the ones that are backing Kotick? Well, then again, I think to the point is like if Microsoft is smart, they're gonna, because the board can put whatever CEO they want.
They're not gonna leave any of those board of directors in.
Yeah, they gotta buy them out, whatever shares. Whoever those early investors are, or people that have invested over the years that have those spots. It's not like a board of advisors where it's like kind of a courtesy position, like Al Gore being an advisor to Apple kind of level, like,
right.
Even though he did invent the internet, like it's, I think that's one of the biggest things is if they buy out all the board members and everybody that's involved there, then it's like, oh, this is our shop, and now we get to make the world a better place. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's again in my brain. I don't know the relationship between Microsoft and Xbox. I know Microsoft owns Xbox, so it's like a subsidiary of a massive company buying a massive company.
Yeah.
The word subsidiary always makes me think smaller. In this case, it doesn't mean that much smaller. Evidently, it's like
no, not really
giant.
This would be division. Like PlayStation buying somebody,
right?
Not Sony.
Not Sony.
Yeah.
So.
But let me tell you what, like, the best thing that Xbox has done was put Phil Spencer in the position that he's been in. Because before it was Don Maddock, and Don Maddock was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, he was awful. He was behind the whole, like, Xbox One bullshit when that came out. And that it was, like, just was terrible bad faith for most of the gaming community. And that's where kind of PlayStation was able to pull a grasp of a lead out when Jack Tretton, and it seems like they flopped at this point.
That was when there was like, oh, there's no backwards compatibility, right? Was that
no backwards compatibility? Like,
I remember
you can't,
that.
Like, there's no used game market, none of that shit, and they walked all of that back. You have to be online 100% of the time in order to play the console, like, all of that.
Stupid.
So, I'm interested to see what more comes from this, but this is insane.
Well, it's been a while since we've had a final round that was video game centric. That didn't feel like, well, granted, Halo was kind of recent, but at that point, I hadn't played it. I still haven't.
Yeah.
You had only recently required your Xbox by people and means that we know in the chat right now. So like now, I'm glad we at least got a subject that both of us can actively contribute to. And what have we been talking about? And again, I feel like we're probably going to have another year of this where Activision Blizzard and keeps popping up in our show. But
because more shit's going to come out about this deal in the future. And it's not all going to be good.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to start seeing like board members get ejected,
dropped.
Just start cleaning. I want to see Phil Spencer show up. This is my last fantasy, and we'll end it. But I want to see Phil Spencer show up at the Activision Blizzard board meeting with a paintball gun, bright blue and orange, like Ari Gold. Pop, 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 pop. Looking for Adam Davies.
I'm back and you're fired.
Just crushing people. That would be.
Someone should do that, honestly, with that scene, and just take like screenshots of
put their
Phil
faces.
Spencer's head, and then like just put like board members on each. Someone should absolutely do that shit.
Just Bobby Kotick as Adam Davies crouching behind his desk. Or should he be Lloyd in that scenario? Because Lloyd was
he should
and
absolutely be Adam Davies. And he just shoots him. Yeah, so good.
Come on, Ari. Just gets peppered. That shit's the best. Awesome. Well, hey, episode 29, nice and sweet. I mean,
yeah, man. Nice 54 minutes.
Under an hour, bro. Under an hour. Yeah. I know the first 3 minutes people didn't hear me, but that's all right. You know what? Whatever.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's why our show's so cute and quaint. You know, it's not perfect. Yeah. It's not glossy. I'll get it right eventually. Maybe by episode 100. But that's for it for me. Once again, I'm Ernie Hawkins.
I'm Dom Irvin.
And we are Joystick Maverick, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again to our sponsor, Tough Raps. Thanks, Mahaffey, for the intro and outro songs, and we'll see you next time. Peace.